The air in the barracks hallway was thick with silence, the kind that felt wrong, heavy, and waiting to break. Captain Rowen's voice echoed down the corridor, sharp and commanding, cutting through the stillness. Behind him walked Lena Hart, the new transfer, quiet, reserved, her uniform crisp, her eyes lowered. Most didn't know her name yet. Fewer knew her past. But Rowen didn't care for introductions. He cared for power. And right now, he wanted to prove a point. He yanked her by the arm, pushing open the bathroom door so hard it slammed against the wall. The clatter made the others flinch. His grip tightened. "You think you can ignore a direct order, Sergeant?" he barked. The tiles were cold, the air reeking faintly of bleach and iron. Lena didn't move. She just stared at him. Not with fear, but with quiet calculation. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I love knowing who's listening. Rowen's voice dropped, low and venomous. You'll learn your place here. For a second, the only sound was the drip of a leaking tap. Then, in one clean motion, Lena twisted her wrist, pivoted her shoulder, and in less than a heartbeat, Rowen's back hit the wall. His hand dropped from her arm. The sound of impact echoed like a gunshot. He stared at her in disbelief, the cold, calm expression of a soldier who had just realized the prey wasn't prey at all. Her stance was solid, feet shoulder-width apart, eyes unwavering. "Never grab a soldier like that again, sir," she said, voice steady. Every word a warning cloaked in control. He staggered back, clutching his chest where she'd struck. Not hard enough to break, but enough to humble. Outside, the whispers began to spread through the corridor like wildfire. "Did you see that?" one cadet murmured. She dropped him without breaking a sweat. Another shook his head. "Who is she?" By the time Rowen stepped out, pale and shaken, the entire training unit had gathered. Lena followed, straightening her uniform as though nothing had happened. Her gaze swept the group, firm but not cruel. "Respect," she said quietly, "goes both ways." But inside, her hands trembled, not from fear, but from restraint. She'd promised herself never to use her SEAL training again unless there was no other choice. She'd spent years trying to live quietly, to leave the ghosts of war behind. Yet here she was, forced to become the soldier she thought she'd buried. That night, whispers turned into rumors. The captain avoided her eyes during roll call, but others, especially the younger cadets, watched her differently. Not with fear, but with newfound respect. One even approached her after lights out. "Ma'am, is it true? Were you really one of them? A SEAL?" Lena didn't answer right away. She looked out the window where the moonlight traced faint patterns on the barracks floor. "I was," she said finally. "But that doesn't mean I stopped being human." In the following days, the atmosphere changed. Rowen, still proud but now quieter, found himself reflecting on the incident. He'd been trained to command, not to humiliate. Watching Lena train the new recruits, patient, firm, encouraging, something in him shifted. He realized that leadership wasn't about fear. It was about respect earned through example. A week later, during combat drills, Rowen stumbled during a climb. Without hesitation, Lena reached out, grabbed his arm, and pulled him to safety. Their eyes met briefly, soldier to soldier. No words were needed. The lesson had already been learned. When the base commander asked later about the disturbance in the bathroom, Rowen took a deep breath and replied simply, "A misunderstanding, sir, but one that taught me more about leadership than any manual ever could." And Lena? She requested to stay, to train the next generation, to turn strength into discipline and pain into purpose. Because in the end, she understood something most didn't. Power means nothing without control. And respect means everything when it's earned. Because courage isn't loud. Sometimes, it's the quiet refusal to be broken again. Before you go, what would you have done in her place? Tell me below, And if you love stories of strength and redemption, make sure to subscribe. More real human courage is waiting just around the corner.